What is going on, Minnesota Vikings fans? This is your host, Trey, of the Minnesota Vikings Syndicate. Ready to talk about that game. We had a little technical difficulties right there to begin, but we're here. All right, we're back. We got to talk about that one. This was a brutal game. I did not enjoy it, to say the least. I thought the first half was, interesting to say enough. Really interesting. I thought we could have played a lot better, but the first half, right? We actually played pretty solid defensively. I thought our defense was stellar. I honestly did. I think a lot of our twos played, which was expected. I think right before the game, both the 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings basically said, hey, 27 of our guys are not going to be playing this game. You can expect basically all the starters not to be in, which is a surprise to some extent, right? You're not going to see a Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. It's just like last week. You're not going to see those guys because you want to keep them healthy before the regular season. One surprise, though, for me was Alexander Madison. I did not expect him to start the game, the first drive. Like, he got the first, I think it was like 3 carries or something like that he had. Or like the first, 3 carries, 17 yards. He was actually our second leading rusher on the night. So that tells you just how great our offense was. You guys can let me know in the comments, too, what you thought of this game. Let's chit-chat about it. Not impressed. Not impressed with our offense. It's definitely a step down from last week against the Raiders where we put up 20 points. Yes, we lost that game, too. But I think it was very apparent from the get-go on this game that, it wasn't what it was lived up to be, right? So defensively, let's go to defense the first half. Phenomenal. Okay, we stopped them right off the bat. I think they drove down the field, looked like they were going to score and stuff, and we just kept putting it to them. Our red zone defense is actually something I'm looking forward to this season because when we get down to the red zone, it's like our defense kind of, what is it like? They're like a brick wall, basically. Like, you're not going to get any more yards. In reality, I'd rather walk away with 0 points, but 3's okay. Let's just make sure they don't reach the end zone so it gives our offense the best opportunity to go out there and really score, right? But overall, not impressed with this game. Not impressed with this game. A couple standout players, in my opinion, would be Ty Chandler. I think Ty Chandler played exceptionally well, especially coming off that Raiders loss. He was our leading rusher with 5 rushes, 19 yards. He did get into the end zone, actually our only touchdown of the game. I think he's in line for that third spot, that third running back spot. Him and Kene Nwangwu, I think, are really gonna be battling the entire or the rest of training camp, the rest of preseason to see who takes that third spot, and maybe not. Maybe it doesn't even matter, right? Maybe they split reps in the regular season, okay? Dalvin Cook goes out for a series. Alexander Madison just ain't cutting it. Let's send Kene Nwangwu or Ty Chandler out there. Let's see what he can do and really run the ball that way. But Ty Chandler did exceptionally well. Otherwise, the rest of the offense, Kellen Mond, okay? I still believe he is our number 2 guy. I think he's our number 2 guy at quarterback. He's our backup. But he needs to clean up his game. And I'm not entirely sure if it was all of his fault because the receivers just couldn't catch the ball. They just couldn't catch the ball. Drop after drop after drop. It's got to be better. Okay? And these are, the for the wide receivers anyways, those are like the fourth string, fifth string guys. You're not going to expect too much out of them, but they're fighting for jobs. They are fighting for jobs. So you'd expect them to go out there and put it all on the line because I believe by like next week or on Tuesday or something like that, the rosters have to go from 85 to 80. And if you didn't do enough this last game, you could be one of those 5 that are cut. Like, plain and simple, want that. Like, those guys don't want that because a lot of them don't know what they're going to do after football. And you have to be consistent. You want to be on this team. You want playing time. You have to catch the balls, especially the ones that are right in your hands. So we got to be better on that aspect. Let me know who is in the chat. You guys can say hello and whatnot. And if you are a new viewer, Thanks for tuning in. And if you want endless amounts of Minnesota Vikings lost sound, huh? Well, that's interesting. Well, let me know if you guys can hear me. Just so... That's kind of weird. But maybe we'll just keep going, keep talking. Hopefully it figures itself out. Let's see. All right, perfect. Nomad, thank you so much. I wasn't for sure what happened there. It kind of gave me a warning sign, but I was like, oh. But anyways, back to the game. Okay, this is what we're here to talk about. Back to the game. If you are a Minnesota Vikings fan, hit that subscribe if you haven't already, that notification bell for endless amounts of, Minnesota Vikings content. Well, we're going to be doing this every week after the game. We won't be here next week. But what are your guys' thoughts on this game? Like, your general thoughts about it, like the defense. What'd you like, what you didn't like? I thought the first half, just my take on it, didn't see what was happening there, but offensively, we're nowhere to be found the whole game. T.Y. McGill on the defense. This man he's got a high motor. I'm excited to see what he can do. He's definitely going to make the 53-man roster, especially if he plays the way he did tonight and last week. He had 2 sacks last week. Yahoo says he had 1.5 sacks, but Paul Allen was telling me he had 2 sacks tonight, so 4 on the season or 4 in the preseason, pretty solid. But we just got to be better. We got to play better football, and it is preseason football, so I could be, a little bit over my head a little bit, but consistency is key. Sean Mannion didn't play too bad. Okay, no interceptions on his part like Kellen Mond did. That last interception by Kellen Mond, he had 2. That was a very, very, very bad throw. Like, that can't happen. Okay, and I understand you're trying to do whatever you can to score, but you have to be better than that. It's just plain and simple. Florence Dahl is in the chat. She said the game didn't go as planned. The backups and rookies did a poorly job of playing the game at home, 0-2 in the preseason. Yeah, the rookies did do a very, very poor job. And I think I have a theory on this. I might be wrong. I might completely wrong here, but I think the reason for that could be the fact that we just got done with joint practice with the 49ers. And a lot of the ones, the starting offense, the starting defenses, they were getting most of those reps in that joint practice. So I feel like the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s didn't get as many reps to kind of see what the 49ers were going to bring to the table, so that when this game actually took place and we got to play it, they were really kind of clueless. Yes, they were filled in the film room and getting the game plan all figured out and laid out, but they have to be better. The rookies definitely do, especially if they want a spot on this roster. 0-2 in the preseason, though, I wouldn't sweat it. It is preseason football. These games don't matter. Okay, for us as fans, for the team in general, literally it only matters for the rookies, the undrafted free agents, the free agents that are basically on their last leg, to get a roster spot, to make an NFL roster. And it's tough. It's very, very tough. So 0-2, wouldn't stress about it that much, just because I know when the regular season comes around, we play, the dreaded Green Bay Cheeseheads, okay? Not the Packers, the Cheeseheads. We're going to come in there, and we're going to show old Mr. Rogers what it's really like to play some professional football, okay? Especially with Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter out there. Oh, good luck. Speaking of linebackers, because those two are technically outside linebackers, they play mostly on the edge. Brian Asamoah, this dude is going to be a freak in the future. I cannot wait to see what he brings. This man flies around, knocks people's heads off. I mean, it is electrifying to watch. This is what we need. Not even preseason, but in the regular season. If he has to come in, which I'm assuming he's going to have to this regular season, he's going to be just fine. His arms are super long. He's fast, sideline to sideline. We talked about that earlier in the offseason. But Brian Asamoah is somebody that is going to make this team better, if that makes any sense. I mean, it should. I mean, he just flies around. His sideline to sideline speed is crazy. His ability to track down or close the gap with the ball carrier is phenomenal as well. I think we're in a good spot with him. Andrew Booth Jr. did go down in this game with an injury, ankle injury, unfortunately. But at first I thought the worst, just because I don't know why, but it was a non-contact injury, and usually when you hear non-contact injury, it means, okay, probably something to do with the knee, maybe a torn Achilles. This is going to be awful. His season's over. And he goes to the medical tent, comes back out, kind of limps towards the bench, sits on the bench, and then we get an update. I think from Ben Gosling, I think is how you say his name. One of the insiders for the Minnesota Vikings basically said, so he's injured, he's on the bench, he's been ruled out for the rest of the game. So that means it was serious enough where he's not going to play. They don't want to risk it going forward. And maybe it was just a rolled ankle. Maybe he just, stepped wrong. I've done it, okay? You just step on an invisible rock, and your ankle just says, see you later. But he's going to be okay, I hope. I hope he's okay. We'll see if we get further information about that. But 17-7. 17-7. It's just, we should have won that ball game. We definitely should have won that ball game. Like, we easily could have. If our offense would have came and showed up the way we expected them to this entire week, basically, at least that's what I expected, we could have won this game. San Fran did not look good offensively at all. Our defense did a great job keeping them from reaching the end zone on multiple occasions. Like, they could have blown us out of the water, but they didn't. It was just our 3s and 4s out there that really kind of screwed it over for us. But what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? But yeah, Kene Nwankwo, two rushes, 4 yards. Olabisi Johnson, 3 catches, 29 yards. Just simple stuff like that would help us. Emir Smith-Marset, great first week against the Raiders. Our number 1 targeted guy. He was just a dud. He laid a flat dud out there. He was not good. Okay, couple drops here and there. It says he went 4 for 4. He did, I believe, fumble the punt. Maybe that's what I'm trying to refer to here. That cannot happen. We talked about it last week. Special teams has got to be better. Okay? No more muff punts. Catch the ball. Just catch the ball. Okay? It sounds simple. Maybe it's tougher than I'm allowing it to be in my head, but got to be better on that front. So, Jaylen Naylor, I know he was 2 for 4 with 11 yards, 4 targets, 2 catches, but those 2 targets that he didn't get catches on were the end of the game deep bombs by Kellen Mond. So nothing really crazy on that front. Defensively, played pretty solid, like 11 yards for loss. Those were the sacks, okay? Some other guys to kind of look at here, I think, would be Chaz Surratt. Chaz Surratt absolutely laid a massive hit on Brock Purdy, okay? Old Iowa State quarterback. He kind of was rolling out to the left, kind of did one of these. Got Janaris Robinson to just biff it, and then started going straight up the field.